Van prep meal life or whatever, numero tres. This is where I attempt to prepare a whole week's worth of meals as deliciously and as cheaply as possible in a furious cooking marathon. If you guys have been following, this is the third week I'm doing this. The first time I did it, I spent $69 on the food. I thought I was winning the lottery. That saved me like $200 a week versus what I had been spending before. This time on the third round, $41. That's all I spent. I continue to refine the ingredients and optimize my spending. I think I'm really getting it down. I'll start by showing you guys exactly what I got this time around. So one commenter made a great suggestion that I use lentils as a form of protein to cut back on eating leftover meats for 3 or 4 or more days out. So I got some lentils. I'm still using the rice. What I'm gonna do is prepare a mixture of 1/3 lentils, 2/3 rice, and cook that, use that as my filler this time. Lentils might not cook as the same as rice. Maybe you're not supposed to cook them together. I don't know. I'm gonna find out the hard way though. They're the same size. I'm gonna cook them. I'm gonna get that going first. With the rice, what I like to do is bring that to a slow boil, stir it a couple times, then let it sit on the table for like an hour so all the steam goes out. In addition to the lentils and the rice, I'm also sticking with onions. I think these are just a great all-around vegetable. They have flavor, they fill you up, they're fibrous, they're just great. Cauliflower. I got broccoli the first time around. I actually prefer this, even though it's the same shape. I think it's just less messy, and also broccoli I think is high in iron. It just has a bad smell after like 3 or 4 days, so I've gotten rid of the broccoli altogether. Celery. This stuff is just a great green vegetable. I felt like I didn't have enough green vegetables in my mix, and it's so cheap, and I like to eat this as raw as possible. I do cook it a little bit. Carrots, of course. This stuff is like eating wood, and that's a compliment to the carrots. I love eating dense stuff that fills you up. This also I like to cook only very lightly. Corn. I got this stuff. You can get this at Market Basket for $1.99 for 5 corn. So I got 10 this time around. I like to shave it all down and cook it. I kind of throw it in the mix, and I also use these, you know, the ears or whatever you call the wrap around the leaves. I throw that in the fire. They're also just fun to prepare. Last but not least, sweet potatoes. I upgraded from regular potatoes. Apparently these are also pretty high in protein. They also have a great flavor. I'm just gonna be sure to chop them up very, very small. Potatoes don't cook through that, you know, cook thoroughly all that well unless you chop them up a lot. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get the rice going. Like I said, I like to bring that to a slow boil. I need to get the fire started first. Oh yeah, the meat. So here's my protein situation. I'm gonna be eating chicken tonight and tomorrow night. The next 2 nights after that, I will be eating steak. I cook it well done. I get those little cutlets. I think they preserve very well in a super cold fridge. The last 3 nights of the week, I will be eating veggie protein stuff. I did veggie protein for the last 2 days of last week, worked out fine. So I'm upping that to 3 days this week. It just keeps better. I'm not sold on the entirely vegan diet. I do like my meat. I also work out a lot, so I'm concerned about having good protein. Anyway, let's get that fire going and let's get the rice going. I could probably do without the corn, but I realized I just like the act of preparing it. It's very zen. Shaving it down with this big, beautiful knife right here. And also all the leaves and stuff I can just throw into the fire. Now, I told you that I'm using a lot more veggie protein this time. I got that from the commenters. You guys have had great suggestions so far. I'm not ready to go the full vegan diet yet. I know that would work out really well since I have a fridge, not a freezer, in terms of preserving meat. I am going 3 days vegan. Not because I don't respect like veganism or, you know, not hurting animals. I think all that's great. I'm a little skeptical about getting all of my protein from vegetables. I know babies have died because their parents put them on a vegan diet. So yeah, I'm just a little skeptical of getting all the protein that way. Plus, I love sinking my teeth into a nice marinated piece of steak. That's one thing I might do in Van Prep Meal Life number 4, is marinate some of this meat before I throw it into the flame. One great benefit of buying corn, all the free kindling. Oh yeah, this ginger ale was part of that $41. I probably really only spent like $35 on the food I'm eating. I've also gotten much more scientific about the order in which I cook things. For example, the steak cooks the quickest. I also like to have my carrots like close to raw when I eat them, nice and crispy. So I'm gonna cook the carrots and the steak together. They will be the last wok I throw in. The second to last wok will be the chicken breasts. I'm gonna cook that with the potatoes and the cauliflower because those vegetables I find need to be cooked for much longer, like the white meat. But the first wok I'm gonna cook is all the vegetables that I like to stir and slow cook for a nice good long time. That's gonna be all of this corn, plus the onions, plus the celery. Yeah, I'm just gonna coat it with some oil. The only spice I'm using to add to everything is this garlic, salt, and pepper mix that I got at one of the grocery stores. Also, this was a commenter's suggestion. Now, I would love to hear about more veggies that are high in protein. I've got the sweet potato, I've got the lentils. I'm sure there's others out there. If you guys have any more you recommend I throw into the mix so I can cut back on some of the meat, eating leftover meat, which ain't a great idea, I'd love to hear. Put your comments in, the comment section below. I read those things. Yeah, that campfire fought through that pile of corn husks I threw into there. As it was getting brighter, the sky was getting darker, I just sat back and enjoyed the light show. Speaking of lights, I don't really have a good lighting situation right now, hence the candle in front of my face. I'm gonna have to do the rest of this video cooking and chopping by candlelight. It's actually kind of romantic. But if you have any good suggestions on an outdoor lighting situation for camping and cooking, put them in the comments below because I need something. The next thing I'm gonna do before I get this first batch off the wok is get my baggies out, which is what I use to store everything. I label them, I do one for each day. This is the inner accountant in me getting out. I love this part of the evening. I've decided to take operations indoors just so the rest of this video doesn't look like a horror movie. This is actually kind of cool. Over there I've got my rice cooling. I busted out my portable camping stove. I think I might use that for the rice just like forever going forward. I've got a very precarious setup. Oh, I should turn the disco ball light off. Someone said it's very distracting and it's right by my head. So I've got a precarious situation for my wok here. As I bag each one, I think I might number the day that I want to eat it on. I know exactly how many bags I need. 8, 6 for the days, 2 just for mixed vegetables. And as I bag each one, I'm gonna put it in the sink over there. Got my trash right there. It's very efficient living in a tiny space. The second thing I threw in the wok is the chicken, those sweet potatoes, and the cauliflower. This will be the wok that I let cook the longest probably. That's okay because there's stuff to do while that is cooking. I think the rice is sufficiently thawed out now, or steamed out, or whatever. Cooled down is what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna package all that in the baggies. And what else? Oh yeah, I changed the light. I'm gonna go with like a neon psychedelic blue for this one. Let me know how you like it. I kind of miss having the disco ball light on. That right there, but too many people say it's a distraction. Whatever. People also comment on the shirts I'm wearing. Yeah, I wear a lot of Goth and Industrial Band t-shirts because that's my thing. I've been to like so many concerts. This one is Skinny Puppy, band I've seen live many times. Supposedly they're retired now for good. I hope that's not the case. Anyway, let me get this going and then we can get our third wok and start wrapping up operations. Yes, I am chopping onions inside my van. a very melancholy affair, so I made the light a little dimmer. It's the last thing I have left to do, believe it or not. I've got the meat going in my camping stove over there. I threw some rosemary in the chicken. I'm letting that cook a little longer. The chicken breasts I got are really thick, like 2 inches thick. So I'm gonna nuke the hell out of that crap. Yeah, this is the last thing I have left to do. You know, if you could have told me 10 years ago that I'd spend my 40s living in a van chopping onions, I never would have seen it coming. Look at all of this food. That's 11 bags, folks. 5 of them with meat, the rest just vegetables. I somehow got way too much. And that's not all. Outside, I still have some onions cooking. I'm just throwing those on the burning embers. I'm gonna let them saute for a while. So what I'm gonna do is let these bags cool in the sink right here. If I put them in the fridge while it's still hot, it drives a power spike fighting all that heat. I also leave it partially unzipped so steam can escape. And I am gonna go take a long, beautiful shower because I smell like onions and sweat and I just feel so gross right now. But wow, what a productive haul. All right, I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. We got some stuff to chat about. Yeah, 12 bags of food and a 13th giant bag just of onions. It smells like onions in here and I'm starting to tear up. Just a warning. I can't believe I got all that food. I also want to thank you guys, my viewers, because it was actually a comment someone made on a video of mine called 5 Things I Could Do Without in My Van. I, at the time, said the fridge is something I could do without because at the time I had rarely ever used it. Now it is essential, and I want to thank that commenter who said meal prep is essential for van life. That was the comment that inspired this whole kit and caboodle. Here I am on week 3. I think I could probably shave another 20 bucks off of my formula because I still have way too much food. I don't know how it happened. Also, can you hear that? That's the sound of the rain on the roof, the perfect white noise. I'm gonna fall asleep to that. Thank you guys for watching another video. I'm gonna do this every week. I think I might do this every Monday night. And thank you guys so much for supporting me. Someone already joined my Patreon, and I can't thank you enough. If you want to join my Patreon, there's a link below. It really inspires and helps me out. Otherwise, all I ask is you hit the like button if you made it this far. All right, peace out, folks.